Alright, and we're learning a bit of the geography of this world. Okay, so Academy at the Magic City of Garland is here. I love Garland because it has the word magic in it, which means it sells magical items. Mandalia Plain, and then we have to go fortify people at Egros Castle. Tavern Outfitter Warriors Guild. Let's get a drink. Come on in then, make yourself welcome. Here's what all the locals have been going on about. Okay, so they provide information about what's going on, so we get background info. Cool. Corpse Brigade, eh? Here's what I've heard. Brigandry is on the rise across the land, and Galleon has by no means been spared. Wains are struck and pillaged, high-ranking officials taken at sword point. Most of the incidents of the past 6 months are believed to be the work of a company of felons and former sellswords known as the Corpse Brigade. As Op said, the only good brigand is a dead brigand, and the Order of the Northern Sky like not more than to see the brigand, or brigade, made corpses for true. But as yet, it is all the knighthood can do to keep that laws in check. King Ondoria III. The health of King Ondoria III has been a subject of concern since his collapse at the birthday celebration of Prince Orinus. Yeah, there's a lot of people in this game. They give you like a directory, sort of, to keep track of it all. The Board of Chamberlains has since announced that the king has regained consciousness and his fever is broken, but will yet require several weeks of quietude and bed rest in order to recover. King Ondoria. Many speculate that it may be some months before the king resumes his official duties. However, Queen Luveria and her retainers have long been in charge of most affairs of state, and thus few problems are anticipated during the king's absence. And the 50 Years' War. The half-century of conflict between Ivalice and Ordalia is today known as the 50 Years' War. The beginning of the 50 Years' War can be traced to the death of Ordalia's King Devane III and his failure to name a successor. His cousin, Veroi VI, was next in line for the throne. However, King Dinamda II of Ivalice, the uncle of Devane III, the cousin was next in line. The uncle wanted the throne and proclaimed himself the rightful heir and declared war on Ordalia. So, are these two regions that were once unified, Ivalice and Ordalia? However, this was merely a pretense to justify the invasion of the neighboring Ordalian province of Zilmonia. Once an independent state, it had been annexed by Ordalia nearly a century prior. Ivalice had since been aiding the province in an effort to weaken Ordalia, an effort that ultimately failed. Tired of Ordalian rule, the Zilmonian leadership and nobility secretly petitioned Ivalice to take a more direct hand in their liberation. After a victory in Zilmonia, the Ivalician armies marched on the Ordalian capital of Ura. As fate would have it, Dinamda II succumbed to fatal illness on the road. The momentary confusion amongst Ivalice's troops gave Ordalia the opportunity it needed to regroup, and Veroi II succeeded in pushing the Ivalicians back as far as Zilmonia. The resulting impasse would not be broken until the Romandan army's invasion 2 years hence. Romanda, a powerful military state lying across the Rana Strait, marched on Ivalice at the behest of Veroi II. Okay, so there's 3 states, Ivalice and Ordalia and Romanda, and the 2 were fighting, and Ivalice made inroads in the war, it got pushed back, and now Romanda's trying to capitalize on the weakened Ivalice, and allying with Ordalia to do so. At the behest of Veroi VI of Ordalia, a blood relation to the Romandan nobility. However, Dinamda's II successor, Dinamda IV, was a fearless warrior, personally leading his men into battle against the combined might of Romanda and Ordalia. This, along with an outbreak of the Black Death in Romanda, forced the Romandan army to withdraw after only 3 years. 2 military orders worthy of particular mention in this conflict are the Order of the Northern Sky, led by King Galens Barbaneth Belu, and that of the Southern Sky, led by Fidolfus Orlando, known as the Thunder God. Okay, I'm of the Order of the Northern Sky, and I am of House Belu. After countless victories at home, these 2 orders had been poised to advance into Ordalia. However, the protracted conflict had begun to take its toll on domestic morale. Peasant uprisings and revolts throughout Ivalice and Ordalia forced both countries to send their troops home to pacify their own citizens, resulting in another stalemate. It was Dinamdas IV's sudden death by malady that broke the stalemate, although some claim that he was murdered. His successor, Andoria III, the king who was now ill, was ill-suited to the throne, and left the governing Ivalice to his queen and retainers. Without Dinamdas IV's leadership, the armies of Ivalice had little prayer for preventing Viroy VI's successor, Prince Leonard, from defeating the troops stationed in Zelmonia and advancing into Ivalice proper. Despite the valiant efforts of the northern and southern orders of Ivalice failed to repel Prince Leonard's invasion of Zeltenia. Ivalice's leaders soon began looking for a peaceful alternative. In the end, both states agreed that prolonging the war would prove mutually detrimental, and a pact was signed allowing each nation to return to addressing domestic strife. With equal peace in name, it was in reality a defeat for Ivalice. The economy of Ivalice was brought to the very brink of ruin as it struggled to pay reparations to its former enemies and to repay the loans taken from neighboring states to fund its war effort. This is a complicated backstory. Soldiers returning from the front found themselves without pay, and entire orders of knights were summarily discharged from service. The swelling ranks of unemployed did little to relieve the people's distrust of the crown and nobility. Okay, so I think the moral of that story is, long war, a lot of people died, military-industrial complex is bad, but also if your economy is in shambles and you also didn't pay your knights who fought for you, then you have a lot of very poor, hungry, disgruntled common people, and they're going to start thieving around. And so, Eye of the Order of the Northern Sky, like the military arm of the government, is trying to quell the rascals. Oh boy, okay. So that's backstory. Cool.